met a few CEOs in the last 2 weeks that got quite mad at me because I told them they couldn't develop AI agents by themselves. Yeah. They thought that AI agents are very easy to build, that it should be obvious. And as I came in as a trainer, as a teacher, they thought I will teach them how to build their own AI agents in an hour. Yeah. When I show them what can be done, when I show them the complexity of the technology, some of the CEO realized that maybe it was not for them and they changed their mind. But some didn't change their mind. Some also came back to me and said, it must be easy. I tried and I couldn't do it. I just cannot find the right tool. I just try to do it, but it's not stable. So they refused the reality of what they actually witnessed by trying to do it by themselves and failing. They thought as an expert, I would have a better answer. I would have the magic tool that they didn't discover that make it possible. So why are those CEOs not happy with my answer? So I engaged in conversation with them and I finally realized what was the problem. They met other experts, AI experts, who told them that AI agents are everywhere, AI agents are super easy to develop and you should do it and you should have 50 agents working for you already. But those AI experts didn't show them how to do it. Some show them what they did for themselves, some show them like their avatars, or they show them some automation that they did themselves, but they didn't take the time to teach it. So before I go any further, I want to make the difference between two types of agents. One are autonomous agents and one are workflow agents. Autonomous agents like Manus AI that was acquired by Meta, GenSpark, AnyGen, in some regard GPT and what GPT was trying to do with GPT operators, and of course Cloudbots. These are all autonomous agents. So you will give instructions to those agents in English, French, or Spanish, and those agents will go out and do stuff for you. You don't need to tell them how to do it. You just give an objective, you give the initial information, and then the agents will do the work, and you just come back after a couple of hours and you find the work finished. These autonomous agents are useful. You can find a lot of demonstration of things that work, but you will not find repeatability, predictability, and stability with those autonomous agents. So for regular tasks, things that you want to be done every day, every week, every month, you cannot rely on autonomous agents. I tried them for several months. I used them extensively in some parts of our marketing effort, and I reached a conclusion with every single one of them. We didn't test all of them, but every single one we tested ended up with the same result. They're useful for a while, and then after a few weeks, it doesn't work exactly the way it used to work. And suddenly something has changed and the output format is different. And then 1 week, it just doesn't work, like forget to work. And I had exactly the same sharing with a lawyer last week. He told me that he had something that was working with GPT, scheduled it, he worked for 2 weeks, and the third week it didn't work. And then he worked again, and then it didn't work. So these autonomous agents are not reliable enough. And there's a trade-off between the level of autonomy and the level of repeatability and stability. So the more the AI will be autonomous, the more the agent will have freedom to do whatever it wants, to create its own to-do list and its own workflow, the less reliable and predictable it is. It's only natural that there's a trade-off between autonomy and reliability. This is not new to AI. This is just logical. So autonomous agents, we don't recommend them for workflows that have to run on a regular basis in a company. We don't. And that is part of the discussion and the debate that I had with those CEO. The AI experts that came to make that speech or on the conference that gave that keynote, most of them are just professional speakers. They are solopreneurs. They just manage their own career. They manage their speaking gig, and they are in charge of every single process in their own one-person organization. So whatever an AI workflow doesn't work, they can fix it, they can do it manually, and it's fine. And they don't mind doing it because they used to do it by themselves. So those AI experts that don't run a company, that don't have, like me, 40 people, partners and employees and suppliers that work, people who don't need to manage work and need that kind of precision, they can rely on autonomous agents. And they also can change, and they can say, there's this new technology and let me try, and that's fine. So that's part of the disconnect between the AI experts and the CEO. When the AI expert is not himself a CEO or self a CEO and running a company, the advice applicable for a solopreneur are not necessarily the good one for a company. Now the second type of AI agents that we call AI agents or AI workflows. This second one is exactly the opposite. They are highly, highly predictable, highly, highly repeatable, but they don't have the same level of autonomy. They still can have flexibility, they still can manage data, they still can adapt to change, but their workflow is fixed and their workflow has been developed and coded by somebody who understands how to do it. So for a company, these are the type of agents that you want to implement. You want workflow agents because you want that predictability. You don't want something that works this week and not working the next week. So now these workflow agents. Can a CEO develop their own workflow agents? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. You just need to learn how to do it. Your first workflow agent is probably going to cost you between 10 hours to 30 hours. 10 hours, if you're already familiar with technology, if you have programming experience, definitely in 10 hours, you can understand the technology, deploy or have somebody deploy the technology for you, go and test and fail and debug your first AI agent. If you have no experience in programming language, if you don't understand the programming logic, if you don't understand data processing, it's probably going to take you 30 hours. So 10 hours to 30 hours, depending on your previous experience in technology of any kind and programming in any language. Now, is it a good deal? Is it a good deal for a CEO? Again, for a solopreneur, If you're not fully booked, maybe the 10 hours or 30 hours are worth it. But if you already have a company and you're already producing value and your CEO time is already value, let's say more than $200 or even $500 per hour, 30 hours in your first AI agent may not be a good decision. Yeah. So what is the solution? The solution is to rely on partners. So this is one of the things we do at System in Motion. We develop AI agents for our customers because it doesn't make sense for them to go and learn technology and spend 30 hours just to develop one agent. Even if the second one they can develop in 2 or 3 hours, business users have more things to do and they create value in a different way. Instead, we want them to be involved in the quality process around the AI agents. We want them to spend 100% of their time making sure the quality of the output of the AI agents is what they need, and help us adjust it and improve it in time, but not develop the initial framework and the initial data processing that is required for a good AI agent to lead. So next time a CEO will ask me, can I develop an AI agent by myself? I will tell them, yes, you can spend 30 hours to do it by yourself, unless you have previous programming language experience, or you can hire us to do the agent by yourself, and then we are just going to concentrate on creating the value and the level of quality that will make you get ahead and continue to produce value for your company.